Hello, this is Ceballos with Untitled Consulting and your Best Boss Bootcamp Minute. We are continuing our response to Fed Up in Flagstaff, who says meetings suck. Why can't we have fewer meetings? How can we have better meetings? So last time we talked about the importance of making sure that you have different roles and responsibilities and that you rotate those. Today, I wanted to talk to you about your agenda. So when you're able to set the agenda for the meeting, let's say you are the facilitator, I really want to encourage you to have a set structure that you use each time for the meeting. That structure should include these 5 items. The first is announcements. So your announcements are essentially those things that your folks have submitted to you already as the facilitator, and that you are actually able to report. You're actually type them out on the agenda. The idea is that people get to review announcements before they come to the meeting, ideally, or at the very most, they're reviewing them in the first few minutes of the meeting. They are not meant to be discussion items unless they are needed to be. They are really FYIs to get people, because that's what they are. They're announcements. So if they're discussion items, they should be later on in the agenda when you have time for discussion. So announcements is the first thing. The second item is the connection before content or check-in time. So this is a time when you are going to do the dreaded team builder, icebreaker, that kind of thing. We're going to talk more about that next in the next Best Boss Bootcamp Minute. But I want to really make sure that you are not throwing away this opportunity for team development, which is so critical. If you are bringing your people together, like we talked about the last time, it better be for a very important kind of meeting, right? And if it's an important kind of meeting and you have people together, then use this time to actually do some team building. It doesn't have to be complicated. And again, we'll talk more about that later, but this is a time for connection before content, connection before content. The third item is to do a round robin rapid reports check-in, where everybody gets to go around the room, say what they need to say, very quickly to bring people up to speed on what they are doing, what they're involved in. Again, if it's a discussion item, then it should be moved to later on in the agenda. But now we're just doing a round robin where people just check in. How are things generally going with their teams, their projects, their staffs, whatever. The third or the fourth item is the bulk of your agenda. And this should be your discussion and decisions place on your agenda, discussions and decisions. So this is where you allocate, and I would say no more than 2 or 3 per, and we're thinking about like an hour and a half meeting, no more than 2 or 3 discussion items. And are they discussion items? Are they decision items? Are they brainstorming items? Indicate on the agenda what is the outcome, that the desired outcome for that particular discussion item on your agenda. Okay, so make sure that it's clear on what you want and that you've got the time allocated. Don't forget your timekeeper is the one who's going to keep you on track with that. And then lastly, on your agenda, make sure there's a time to actually do a quick checkout. It could be a one-word checkout. People get to say how they're feeling, or whatever. So it doesn't have to be a big, long thing, but make sure there's an opportunity for everybody to get their voice in the room one last time to say goodbye or thank you or acknowledgement or something like that. Now, of course, this is just a recommended structure. You can change and edit it, whatever makes sense for you, but really consider using all 5 of these components. And by the way, that last piece, when you're doing your checkout, make sure that you are assigning roles for the next meeting. Who's going to be doing what? Who's going to be the facilitator, the timekeeper, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, hopefully that was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. This is Ceballos with Untitled Consulting. In the Best Boss Bootcamp Minute. We'll see you next time. Bye now.